Germans called it Hitler's zipper, fast atomizer, bolt saw, gonorrhea syringe. I will shoot standing. This is the first time the MG-42 or the MG-3 has been fired standing. The history of MG-42 begins in 1935. At that time, Germany was working with the MG-34, as it's considered to be the first general-purpose machine gun. It could be used as an infantry machine gun, and armament for vehicles, as well as anti-aircraft gun. MG-34 has introduced the mechanism of barrel change, as well as several power options. Obviously a class leader. However, it was very unreliable and very expensive. So they began the development of the MG-42, which can be rightly considered the best machine gun of the World War II. With a huge rate of fire of 15 to 1600 rounds per minute. And today you'll find out why. By the way, it was nicknamed the Hitler's zipper, and some other names, but more about that later. So some of you might know the PPSH, a Soviet submachine gun. A legendary weapon of victory, and it became so due to the low price and the speed of production. Here we have a similar story, except for the victory. Long before the World War II, German military minds realized that stamp parts in the manufacture of weapons could make them a lot cheaper by multiples and simplify the production process. The MG-42 became kind of trailblazer in the field. At a prototype competition, the winner was the Johannes Grossfuss Metal and Paint Factory, which had never made weapons before, but specialized in metal pressing and stamping. Thanks to this, most of the metal parts were made by stamping, just like our PPSH. And the number of man-hours was halved from 150 to 75. So, in 1939, the new machine guns were called MG-39, the rate of fire of more than 1000 rounds per minute. After 3 more years of minor modifications, the MG-42 saw all sections of the front lines. The characteristic sound of the machine gun gave it a variety of nicknames. Germans called it Hitler's zipper, fast atomizer, bolt saw, gonorrhea syringe, electric MG, Soviet soldiers called it linoleum ripper, and Americans called it the Hitler's zipper or the Hitler's fly. What we have today is not a 7.92 Mauser, but its post-war version, the MG-3. After the war, Germany was forbidden to have its own army, but they still wanted to make some money. In the late 50s, Germany redesigns it to a standard NATO caliber 7.62 by 51. Slightly reworked, it's called MG2, and it goes into the army and export. Our variant is called MG-42-59 and came to us from Italy under the wing of the famous Beretta company. The machine gun consists of a barrel with a casing box, a tool-edged bipod, a buttstock, a locking feet, and the percussion trigger. Bullet is locked by rollers located in the bolt face and are deployed by the wedge bevels when locked. And when unlocked, they are brought together by the box bevels. The most significant advantage of this arrangement was the locking by the barrel spur, which allowed the machine gun receiver to be made as a cheap stamp part, as opposed to a very complicated production milled one, like the MG-34. Here, the return spring is also a firing spring. MG-42 originally had a very high rate of fire, of 1200 rounds, even 1600 rounds per minute. It literally spits out the rounds. That's why it was disliked by the troops. I mean, go and try to suppress the amount of fire. But there was a disadvantage. You had to carry a huge amount of ammunition. Remember our PPSH? It had the same problem. So for expert and in general, they decided to reduce the rate of fire to 800-900 rounds per minute. And they did this by reducing the weight of the bolt to 925 grams. That almost doubled the weight. Oh, we have to remove the flash suppressor in order to remove the barrel. Maybe I could do it a little bit more gently, but here we have our barrel. Of course, you won't be able to hold it like this, it will be quite hard. You may see a lot of markings here, you see 7.62mm, yep, like this. But to make it cheaper, they had to make these rollers complicated, but the mechanism itself is pretty light, by the way. It looks like an ordinary piece of iron. You put it in and then you press it and it opens, just like this. In order to reduce the rate of fire for the export models, you have to double the weight of the bolt. As I said, it was 400 grams, now the bolt weighs 900 grams. I'm putting it back. Yep, I've hit the bolt latch. Originally they had the 7.92 Mauser round. Then they unified it for the NATO caliber, the 7.62x51. I've got two rounds here today, one tracer and the regular one. You could say it's like the steel bullet, our 7.62x54. I mean, it's kind of a Russian or Soviet format. M80 and the M62, that is, the tracer and the steel bullet. You can easily distinguish the rounds from our Russian rounds with this slight border. This border looks like it was originally sliced. A really beautiful border, I can tell. Given the high rate of fire of this machine gun, I will empty this belt in 7.5 seconds. But I don't want to be known as a speedster, so I'm either gonna pull a few out here and take turns, or I'm gonna try to do it in short bursts. After all, it's a hitless zipper. Will the MG-42 or the MG-3 crack down the BRDM armor, which is 7mm thick? I've also attached a class 4 plate in here, although it shouldn't probably stop these kind of calibers, but well, we'll see, why not, I mean, you never know. I guess it's kind of a homemade plate. And I also wonder if an infantryman or anyone can hide behind a truck, such as this old Soviet KAMAZ truck, which has seen a lot of calibers shot at it. Now, it's time for 7.62x51. Will you be able to handle it, and will you be able to hide from it? We shall see. Welcome to the High Caliber Mayhem. The MG-42-59 has a maximum range of 800 meters when you work with the bipod. And by the way, the muzzle velocity of this round is 720 meters per second. And I'm kinda curious how this machine gun will behave itself when I will shoot it standing. Now let's test the armor strength of the BRDM. Is that all?
Нормально.
That's a hell of a start. It jammed several rounds at once. 7mm of BRDM armor, and there is no penetration. I want to see what a zipper can do here if I will shoot in bursts. But that's for later.
Это мы попробуем попозже. Сначала попадем в плиту.
Well, but the coating is very light here. There is a safe, by the way. And I guess I'll put it on. Let's have a look. Look, I mean, it was pretty close. It was close, but no penetration again. It doesn't penetrate the armor of the BRDM, and it's a foregone conclusion. I must have hit this plate into the scotch tape, the metal one, you see, it fell, and the splinters flew down from the metal bullet whips, most likely. So I'm gonna set it up like this, and, well, enjoy the ricochet. And I wanted to shoot without headphones now, and see what it sounds like, because guys are getting high, and I want to do that too. It jammed again! Look what happened to the round. It's like bit it off. It was jammed and fucked up.
Его заклинило, и он перекосил.
It sounds really great, but I'm not an enemy of my own health. Let's go!
Ай!
Yep, now it's turned around. So, if you're in the modern body armor heading for some crowd, or, you know, with an MG, shouldn't be afraid, or you can go into the embrasure with the chest open. Let's have a look. It almost got through, but it didn't. A fourth class plate. You can see from behind that it was almost getting through to the victory. But, well, it failed. Maybe the MG-3 isn't as good as it sounds. It's understandable that without body armor, you'll be mowed just like that. Anyway, if you're a man with the body armor, it won't mow you down. 7.62 by 51 or 7.62 by 54. I've got a Mosin rifle in the custom body kit, so to speak. Our cartridge is more powerful, of course, and we'll make sure of that now. By the way, I've loaded the ordinary steel bullet, and well, I'll just do one shot for the comparison's sake. Either a rapid-fire shot that doesn't penetrate shit, or a one-time hit that's accurate. Holy shit. God damn, she's so beautiful. Modern MG-3 machine gun is a reincarnation of the MG-42, the Hitler Zipper. And it didn't do well, unlike our Mosin rifle, which is, by the way, from the Tsar ages. Look, 4 uncompromising hits and 4 uncompromising holes. And when there are 4 uncompromising holes in a modern, so to speak, 4th class plate, there is no point to doubt this weapon. By the way, there are also minor dents in the BRDM armor that are similar to the MG-3 shots. The 4 walls of the Kamaz truck, metal walls of course, there is 1, 2nd, 3rd and 4th. And inside there is sand. We have already checked that. So if I will shoot over here, will it penetrate 4 walls, or at least 2 walls of this truck? If I will shoot standing. This is the first time the MG-42 or the MG-3 has been fired standing. This is the first time I'm shooting standing. A beautiful idea, I think. Oops, it jumped. Can you imagine? Focus. Get 2 rounds at once.
Класс! Охуенно!
Well, this is where the MG gets really good at.
Задело основательно.
Look down at this thick steel underneath.
Толстенная внизу железяка. Видите?
See that? Well, that's when he penetrated through. And not just one, by the way.
По-моему, целых две дальше. Видите, бам-бам-бам-бам.
Look, on this side I see a lot of penetrations, quite a lot of penetrations, I guess. And up here I was shooting in the middle, and inner wall is penetrated as well.
Как Джеймс Бонд. Давайте-ка посмотрим на вторую стенку. Вторая стенка пробита, и как будто бы...
And here we can see how the bullet expanded. And this, by the way, is all sand apparently that spilled out of the previous holes. Here they are, actually, the holes.
Да практически 12,7. Дальше мы смотрим. Это, кстати, все песок, видимо, который высыпался из предыдущих отверстий. И вот они, собственно, отверстия. А вот здесь вот видите...
And here you see it didn't penetrate the third wall. Here it penetrated a little bit, and here it penetrated a little bit. But the most thorough hole was this one. I don't know why, but apparently somehow he widened it like that. And he hit it well. See, there is a hit here too, but no penetration. And let us see the fourth wall, I mean. Could the bullet get through the fourth wall? And, well, not like that. All but one of the bullets, this one, stayed inside. All I could find was the braid of the bullet, and I couldn't find a single bullet. Maybe they hid themselves pretty well. Well, I've already showed you how to change the barrel on this machine gun, but according to specs you should do it every 200 rounds. Apparently the barrel overheats, and the thermal sleeve is made apparently not to burn your hands. As you can see, you can shoot standing up, you can twist it any way you want, because the recoil is quite small. You actually have a sample of 3 targets. The armored vehicle, which doesn't penetrate, the armor plate, which doesn't penetrate. And by the way, it's 4th class plate, and it should not hold this round. Our round today was not up to the task, usual steel bullet. And also we tried it out on our truck, and it's quite telling that everyone in our Kamaz truck would not actually make it alive. If they had, of course, they would have sprawled out like the cows in that movie. Our Russian movie, I mean, you don't really know it. The infantry, on the other hand, of course, would be out of luck. If the armored vehicles will walk like this, then yes. That's why it's a Hitler's zipper, because it speeds 800 rounds per minute. Well, that was the MG-3 and your high-caliber mayhem. Stay tuned, it will be better.